us about Abraham, and you have seen Abraham. Listen to what Jesus said. Go ahead and read on.
Jesus said unto them,
Uh-huh.
Verily, verily, I say unto you,
Go ahead.
before Abraham was, I am.
And he said, before Abraham was, I am. Not I was, but I am. In other words, he was the one that was there with Abraham. And that is what he is telling them now.
Yes,
so now he was the one that said, I am that I am back in Exodus. When he said, you know, when Moses told him, said, you know, they're going to ask, what is his name? And the Lord said, you just tell him I am sent me unto you. That's and who was the I am? It was Jesus. Let's go and look at it again. Let's go this time to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, and we'll pick it up at verse 1. Just want to establish who it was that delivered the children of Israel, or the church, I'll say, out of Egypt. Because that's who the church is. They are Israel. Let's start reading at 1 Corinthians chapter 10, and we'll pick it up at verse 1. 1 Corinthians 10, and we'll begin reading at verse 1. 10 and 1. 10 and 1. Okay, when you get it, go ahead and read.
Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers was under the cloud, and all passed through the sea.
Now, everybody understand what time we're reading about here, right? Yes, this is when the Lord delivered Israel out of bondage. Go ahead and read on.
And were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. And did all eat the same spiritual meat.
Go ahead.
And all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them. And that rock was Christ.
So now we understand who that was that brought Israel out. Again, we understand it. That rock that was with Israel there in the wilderness, that rock was Christ. Go ahead, skip down now to verse 7 and continue reading.
Neither be you idolaters, as for some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play.
Go ahead.
Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed and fell in one day, 23,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents.
So now, if they tempted Christ, that must have meant he was there, right?
Yes, sir.
In order for them to tempt him, he had to be there, didn't he?
That's right.
So now, who was it that delivered the church out of bondage? It was Jesus, wasn't it? Let's go back and look at when he delivered them. Let's go to Exodus chapter 4. Just show you how the Lord did this thing. So now it was Jesus that delivered the church. Now, let's go back to Exodus chapter 4. We're going to pick it up at verse 10. Exodus 4, and we are going to begin reading at verse 10. As I said earlier, we're going to find the Lord going to do this thing just like he did it in the past. Almost directed to the letter. I mean, let's go now to Exodus chapter 4. And we'll pick it up at verse 10. 4 and 10. Okay, go ahead and read.
And Moses said unto the Lord,
O
my Lord, I am not eloquent.
Now, this is Moses. He's speaking to the Lord here. We understand what Lord this is that he's speaking to. Because when you start dealing with the Lord in the Bible, you'll find out that you had two. You had one that became known as the Father, and another one that became known as Jesus the Son. So now this is the one that became known as Jesus that he's speaking to here. And he's telling the Lord, when the Lord commissioned him, he said, oh, my Lord, I am not eloquent of speech. In other words, I don't speak real well. Go ahead and read on.
Neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant. But I am slow of speech, and of a slow tongue.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto him, who have made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord?
You know, the Lord telling me, look, I know. Well, I know you were slow of speech when I came to you. You ain't telling me nothing I didn't know already. You understand? But yet I chose you to deliver the people anyway. Go ahead and read on.
Verse 12.
Go ahead.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth.
Go ahead.
And teach thee what thou shalt say.
Now he said, therefore you go on, I'm going to be with your mouth, and I'm going to tell you what to say. You ain't got to worry about what you're going to say. I'm going to put it in your mouth what it is that you need to say. And since you figure that you got such a bad speech impediment, I'm going to send up a mouth along with you. Go ahead and read on.
And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him who thou wilt send. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses.
See, the Lord got angry about that thing. He said, you know, Moses talking about, he's still trying to get out of it. You know, about send whoever you will send. Lord got angry with it. Go ahead and read on.
And he said, Is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well.
Go ahead.
And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. And thou shalt speak unto him, and put words in his mouth.
Go ahead.
And I will be with thy mouth, and with his mouth, and will teach you what you shall say.
So now I'm going to give it to you, Moses. Then I want you to give it to Aaron, and Aaron is the one that's going to do the talking. But I'm going to give it to you, Moses, and you're going to put the words in his mouth. Go ahead and read on.
And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people.
Go ahead.
And he shall be, even he shall be to thee instead of a mouth. And thou shalt be to him instead of God.
Now, let's skip down to verse 21. Go ahead and read on.
And the Lord said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh.
Now he said, now when you go back to return unto Egypt to deliver the people, I want you to do all of these wonders before Pharaoh. Go ahead and finish that verse up.
Which I have put in thy hand, but I will harden his heart, that he should not let the people go.
Now, let's go to, so now he's telling Moses, he said, you know, when you get back there, I want you to do all these wonders. You know, I'm sending you, and I'm sending there. I'm sending two of you. And I want you to do all of these wonders when you get back there. Now, let's go now to Exodus chapter 6. And we'll begin reading at verse 10. Exodus, we're going to just look at a few of the things that the Lord did when he delivered the church out of bondage. Let's go now to Exodus 6, and we'll begin reading at verse 10. 6 and 10. 6 and 10. Okay, go ahead and read.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Go in, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land.
Go ahead.
And Moses spake before the Lord, saying, Behold, the children of Israel have not hearkened unto me. How then shall Pharaoh hear me? Who am I, of uncircumcised lips?
Moses still trying to figure out a way to get out of this thing. Ain't nobody really want to deal with this people. You understand what I'm saying? Moses still trying to talk his way out of it, but the Lord ain't having it. Go ahead and read on.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, and gave them a charge.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron. Go ahead and did what now?
And gave them a charge.
And gave them a charge. Go ahead and read.
Unto the children of Israel, and unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
So now Moses had given them both a charge. You know, he said, when you get down there in Egypt to deliver the children of Israel, I want you to do all of these wonders. He done sent two, right?
Yes, sir.
And he said, I want you to do all of these wonders when you get down there before Pharaoh. Let's go now to Exodus chapter 7, and we'll begin reading at verse 1. Exodus 7, and we'll pick it up at verse 1. 7 and 1. 7 and 1. Okay, go ahead and read.
And the Lord said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet.
So, you know, he told Moses, you know, you as a god, and Aaron your brother, he is as a prophet. Go ahead and read on.
Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh should not hearken unto you.
Now the Lord said, I'm going to multiply my signs and my wonders. But he said earlier, I'm going to do it by the hand of you and Aaron, though. So I'm going to do it by the hand of these two men here. But nevertheless, it is me. I'm doing it by their hand. Go ahead and read on.
That I may lay my hand upon Egypt, and bring forth my armies.
Go ahead.
And my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt, by great judgment.
Go ahead and read.
And the Egyptians should know that I am the Lord, when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt, and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded them. So did they.
So now they did as the Lord commanded. So did they. Skip down now to verse 14. Go ahead and read. Now he's going to start, because he said, I'm going to do all these wonders by your all hand. And look, wait, now he's about to start doing these wonders by their hand. Moses and Aaron too. Go ahead and read on.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuses to let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out into the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brink. Against he come, and the